Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical. This Mystical Gaming, we're jumping into Watcher Realms Stage 20, Tower of Deception. Only got a couple of days left to get it done, but I'm sure it'll be back round again fairly soon. Didn't find this easy, if I'm honest. Found it to be a bit of a mare. Yeah, let's jump in and have a look at the team. I thought they were going to make these easier, or at least these stages easier. So this is a team I've used. I've just gone with people to fill roles more than attaching Lord bonuses to them, but I mean, take this and sort of marry up where you want to go with stuff, because you might find that works better for you. Okay, so that's it. There's a couple of changes there. Right, so in with you need to, I use two healers. Nerissa's first one. There's her artifact. That was a gear. Job done. She's nice. She's got a breadth of healing and quite a lot of distance. Eloin, essential. If you've got her, you'd use her. If you haven't, no great biggie. Maybe Rage Regen would be a better way to go. More of a Rage Regen orientated healer. And then I've got a couple of tanks that can do damage, or no, you want to go defenders that can do damage, I think, because you're going to need that block at least. Maybe you'd get away with enough fighters if they've done enough DPS, maybe, and put an extra bit of blocking on them with an artifact. Maybe that could be a way around it, but I found it easier to go defenders that can do a bit of damage. Okay, so that's why I've gone for Talon, and that's why I've gone for Malvira. That way round. Okay, so there we go. And then Volker. Not required at all. If you've got a user, I've got her in gear. She's just there to give you that ease of turnaround for your DPS fighters. If you haven't got her or don't use her or don't want to use her, put in another fighter. I think that will just work quite as well for you. And she also supplies off maybe a bit of healing towards the end as a bit of self-healing on the latter stages of the fight, but I don't think she's essential at all. I think you could get away without using her, but it just makes your life easier if you have. Then you need someone who does some AoE for you. Ideally, I'd like two people that do AoE, but I can't afford it cost-wise, and I can't get the single target damage out of an AoE person, so I'm using Hex as well. But any single target damage dealer who's nice and cheap, boom, there we go. That's what Hex does, okay, for me. Then I've got my fighters. These are going to be doing the DPS on the boss for me. So I've got my Sun Wukong. He's a really nice solid fighter for me. I've got my Kagari, another absolutely fantastic fighter for me. And then after that, we're using the brains of the outfit. Obviously, we're going to use a Liam. So that's how we're going to go with it. Now, Liam, absolutely fantastic. What you want to do is I've built him with speed set on there, and then I've gone for Rage Regen and speed. All I want him to do is get around to his ultimate as quickly as possible. Okay, so then I've been Rage Regen. We've got a bit of speed on there. First speed item, Rage Regen. That's all we care about. It. Next item is a speed piece. No Rage Regen, but we will swap that over and change that in a second. And then we've got Rage Regen with a bit of speed on it. Don't worry about sets or anything like that. Okay, right, just swap this over. There we go. Using a tier 3 piece, I get 20 more speed out of it. Okay, so just makes my life a little bit easier. Artifact, couldn't think of one to put on him, so I didn't bother. Okay, there we go. That's our Liam done. Now, what are we using him for? We're using him for neurotoxin, a bit of poison, going straight on the boss. He won't take 1% of the target's max HP. He gets a reduction in it. He's a boss type character. Okay, so he's not taking 3% each tick. Okay, because otherwise he'd be dead a lot quicker than anticipated. But he does nice damage, okay damage. So there we go. And we'll explain the boss's skills as we get into the fight. Now let's move me out of the way. All going well, I should be sufficiently out of the way here. Now let's jump into the fight a little bit. So the boss character will come down for us, and we're just going to start chucking our DPS on him. Now the boss has got a couple of abilities we've got to watch out for. This is the first one. Okay, so up just above the boss, he's at 95 at the moment. That's his rage meter. Okay, Seeds of Chaos. When rage is full, boss unleashes Seeds of Chaos on 3 random targets. We've only got 2 targets out there, so we can only do 2 across the field, dealing damage 1 time. After a short delay, they explode, dealing secondary damage to the target, so they take 2 lots of damage, and adjacent units. So you get hit by it when he first puts it out. Then there's a short delay, you get hit by it again, and adjacent targets or adjacent allies that stood next to you. So bear in mind, it's not adjacent units, it's adjacent allies, because otherwise we could use it to sort of blow other people up as well. That doesn't happen. Now, the other thing to think about is just where you're placing people, okay? So just bear that in mind. Why am I placing someone there? It's to keep this one tile out of the way for everyone, okay? Right, let's go on then. So the boss is going to do a Seeds of Chaos. When he's done that, we can then place down Liam. We can't place him down beforehand because he wouldn't take it, okay? So there's the explosion. None of the units behind him got done. It's allies only, okay? We can place Talon down at the bottom end there straight away afterwards. We've got a Liam down at the top there. We've got Talon down there, and we are just waiting on 19 points. At 19 points, we will place Anora down, okay? So she'll be our next one. There's a lot of to and fro in this fight about who we're placing down and where, and it's not easily done, okay? But we can see the neurotoxins going on the boss. We've got a 19, we place Anora down, and as soon as she's available to do her ultimate, we will do her ultimate. Talon's is already up, so as people come down to her, we'll trigger her ultimate, and then Anora's is up, we can do hers. Now, gotta put in mind here, the boss, one of the modifiers for the boss is to reduce the number of interception hits the boss done. Now, when he hits you, when you're doing all 3 stars, he hits you for 2 at a time, 2 stacks at a time. So that means you get 2, and then the next time you get 4. Obviously, as opposed to 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Right, so reduces attack speed by 60%. After reaching 3 stacks, transform into Panic. Now, Panic has a whole separate thing about it, but he's going to get there 1 step quicker with that modifier on. So if you turn that modifier off, you'll slow down these stacks going on you, okay? So that's what that modifier is doing for you, okay? So he's got 2 stacks on him, boom, there we go, and we're about to get another stack. So this is the Massacre, this is what puts the stack on you, so there we go. And then we see that's been removed, and that is because he has Panic on him now. So now he hit for, we had 2 on us to start with, he's now hit us again with that Massacre, which was what puts that debuff on you, and now he's gone past 3. So while in Panic state, the hero cannot act or retreat, which is the tricky bit for us, and their block becomes 0. This state cannot be deployed. So we can't deploy it, and now we can't move him out of the way, so the boss can easily walk past him unless we act beforehand. So this time round, we will just scoot the fight back a touch to where the boss does his Massacre, and then this time we'll swap what we do, okay? The build up until that Massacre point is exactly the same. But as the boss casts the Massacre, then what we'll do this time, here we go, here's the Massacre this time, and then beforehand we can retreat. So we've still got 2 stacks on us. If the boss hits us, we will get 4. That will induce the Panic. We'll let Sun Wukong do his hit. Nice to take the extra hit, remove him. The boss hits no one, and then we can place our next person down to block the boss, okay? So that's what we're doing there. Now the fight's going to get very busy. Cannon has just come out on the bottom left. That's going to hit the last person placed down, which in our account is Anora. Nora's going to take a hit from it. She can take 1 hit from this cannon. So she takes that hit, then we place Hex down, okay? Hit coming in, boom, Anora's been hit. Hex goes down. Hex does a couple of things for us. Firstly, he can take out the cannon. That's a win. Secondly, he stuns the cannon, so it doesn't get quite as many hits off, and it gives us enough time to put our defender up. And now when the cannon goes for it, it attacks the defender and not our DPS. When Anora's done, we remove Anora. When the boss does his Massacre, we use Kagari's ultimate, so he sort of dodges it, just saves us a bit of healing, okay? And then we carry on DPSing with Hex's ultimate's now gone off, and we can actually DPS that cannon down. Once that cannon's down, we can get rid of Hex as well. So there we go, removed Hex. Gary's dodged the Massacre, and now we've got our Seeds of Chaos happening again. Remember, Seeds of Chaos is going to hit 3 champions. It's going to hit them twice and do an AoE around them as well, so everyone is nicely spaced out. Now the only thing is you want to remove those people so you get the part of that coin cost back. Liam is not going to be able to take this, so I'm going to remove Liam straight away. Seeds of Chaos coming out. Before it hits him, we can remove it. Okay, there we go. And now we've got another cannon has arrived. Another cannon's just arrived up here, but it's hitting our tank. That's no great thing. One of the advantages with Elowin is we've got that wood elf, so we can put the wood elf down there and heal up. But our tanks, our defenders are quite healy by themselves anyway, and they've got people coming around that they can heal off, so not overly important for us, but is a little bit helpful. You might also want to place a Volker down or something else like that. Now, I am waiting on a couple of things happening now. Here is the next Massacre coming from the boss. His hand is coming up, it's coming down. I've got to move Kagiri out the way. When Kagiri comes out the way, I can then place down Sun Wukong again. That will cover that part of the fight off, okay? Again, it's a swap. Take Kagiri out, put Sun Wukong down, and that is that part done. We're now on to the next phase of the boss. We're now doing the boss down, and we carry on doing that with our fighters all the time. Now, the one up in the corner, I'm going to use a Nora up there, but Nora can only take, remember, she takes one hit from the cannon, then she's very low, so she won't be able to take two. So I need to put a Nora down, and I need to get enough coins back to place a healer down that covers off a Nora as well. Okay, so there we go, that's her done. Now, the interesting thing about the cannon, I want you to watch this part in the fight. You may not need a healer. Until I came to do the editing, didn't notice this was happening. Might be able to cheese it. It might be a nice little strat for you to think about. Okay, now that cannon attacks the last unit down, I think it is. It doesn't say that, but it sort of attacks the next unit down. And that includes, luckily enough, Sun Wukong's clones. So have a look on the next bit on who the cannon attacks. Boom, clone. Okay, next round that comes around from the cannon, there we go, fires again, hits another clone, which is quite weird. There's the Massacre from the boss, haven't got to worry about that. There we go, and then we're just DPSing the cannon down with a Nora. So she probably didn't need a healer, but I didn't really know that or notice it until I was doing the editing later on. So cannon's dead, we can start getting rid of some people for us. Okay, now I keep a Nora up there because she can DPS that mob coming round. Okay, so we can DPS the mob coming down now. There's the Seeds of Chaos. That's going to do some damage to everyone, but no great shakes. We can survive that. And here's the Massacre again. Massacre comes in. We remove our Sun Wukong. We then place down our next one. Now, I've only got 0.1. I was deciding whether or not to see if I could hit him en route coming down, but we've gone with it. And now I can remove everyone else. Okay, so everyone else gets removed. The boss is now dead. Boom, we can remove everyone else. I could have kept Kagiri and Alien up there just to carry on DPSing. I've got Hex and I've got Liam, luckily enough. So this is the downside to using him. I've now put them down at the bottom to take care of these mobs coming down. Okay, Hex's ultimate's up, we can use that. I've put Volker down there just to give me a bit of standby healing. That's going to help me out just as a start with those mobs coming down. Okay, but they come down in that top lane there and this lane here, right where the defenders are. So that's a good sign for you. Okay, so in that middle lane you can put anyone you like. Okay, that new tanky healer probably will be absolutely working great for you. Okay, so I don't worry about the mob that's in front of Malvira. It's slow going, but I'm not in a rush for it. Okay, I can then place down my AoE. This is more what you need your AoE for more than anything else. I can then place down an additional healer. That's nice. And then I'm going to place Kagiri down. Now Kagiri's going here. It looks a bit out of the way, but look at her range, or his range there. Okay, his ultimate range does cover off, so we can get a few people done. I've now got another healer up, so I'm going to use the other healer as opposed to using Liam. I'm not sure I need it. It was just more belt and braces on my part more than anything else. Okay, so you may not need that addition of the other healer. Okay, you might be able to use another platform based person, particularly as if they're going for the clone at the top. That might be another way around it. Okay, but we'll have a look at that maybe next cycle through. Now in comes everyone, and now we just start spamming our ultimates. Okay, this is where Nora comes into her own. This is where she's going to get all the damage from a fight. Okay, we just start chucking out those ultimates and writing off as many people as you can. Malvira comes in quite clutch here. Okay, remember that ultimate of hers does increase her block, so she gets quite a high block damage out of it as well. All right, now It is a bit of a DPS AoE race at the end. Maybe you could have put them up and around to sort of even it out. I don't know. Distinct possibility you could do that. I just went for the funnel everyone into the bottom and nuke them in one fell swoop. Okay, there we go. And down to the last one now. And that's it, pretty much done. Not easy, a lot of changing around. I found probably the coin cost quite tricky to get through, but Liam really does help out with that. So if you have a look at the damage here, okay, Liam comes in with 9 million, and that is pretty much all on the boss. He's gone nowhere else, just pretty much the boss do that 9 million damage. All right, so I think that's a good effort from him, to be honest, particularly as I think he's level 40, 4-star, and that's all he does. Okay. And his cost of 9, he does really well for costing next to nothing. Okay, there's a substantial amount of damage on the boss, which enables my Sun Wukong and Kagiri to be less geared than some of the other people that are pushing right through this. Okay, there we go. So that's it, all done. Stage cleared gives us 1 star. The boss inflicting 2 stacks of intimidation on people. Remember, that's the 2, and then the second one will take you to the 4, which would give you the panic. If you remove that, you'll get an extra tick from the boss. Okay, and then the other one is increasing units max HP by 80% and their attack by 30%. Okay, so that's how I 3-starred it. There's only a couple of days left. I should have done this earlier. Ever so sorry about that. If you could share it out, if you're stuck here, if you've got any good tips, put them in the comments below. Lovely to hear from you. I always do chat in the comments below to anyone who puts anything in, and I'll see you all in a video again soon. If you could do the old thumbs up, like, subscribe, share the video out, that would help me out massively, and I'll see you all again soon. Cheers for your time. Thank you. Bye.